So this video is for principals. After the last principal meeting, had a lot of requests for this attendance spreadsheet. So I kind of want to run through the process and what's actually taking place in the background for those that want to implement this on their campus. Now this is again compliments of Bells Hill Elementary as they were running a call log. So we looked at a way to help automate that process to provide them with the information in a quicker format so they can turn around and make those phone calls home and try to get their students there and try to make sure they're making contact to increase their attendance. So what's been generated for each campus is the attendance dashboard. And what this is, right now it's composed of 3 spreadsheets. Now this is the current format, again, that Bells Hill introduced. I've had conversations with other campuses and they want to add or subtract some additional pieces to continue tracking their attendance and tracking different things. So if you have anything that you're doing on a daily basis that you feel like could be automated, something that's taking a lot of time for the paperwork and you want to spend more time in contacting parents or contacting students, please let me know and we'll see if we can help to tweak or customize these to meet your campus needs. But the way the attendance dashboard works is composed of 3 spreadsheets. The main spreadsheet where all of the data comes from is actually called Daily Attendance Teams. It's named that, of course, because the 2 reports that you're going to use to populate this sheet come straight out of Teams. So you can see this spreadsheet is intended for your attendance clerk. These are reports that they're pretty comfortable pulling. And basically what it's doing is it's taking the reports in the exact format that they come out of Teams in. So there's no need to manipulate the reports in Excel prior to dropping them into the spreadsheet. You simply drop the report and it does the rest of it for you. So what we have in these first cells, A through Q, actually comes from the daily attendance report in Teams. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through, show you where to pull that report and what cells to select as far as the information needed in that specific report. So you can save a profile, makes it very easy to pull on a daily basis. Real quick, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. So this is West Avenue. And currently you can see I have West Avenue through 9-8. So I would need to start pulling this report after that to get our daily attendance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log into Teams. And I'm going to go into my report profiles. So under reports, my report profiles. And so it's under a standard student report, and I'm going to go into my attendance. Now this may be a different report than your attendance clerk is currently pulling, but it's a very simple one to set up. And so what I'm starting to pull is the daily attendance report. And what I've done is I've created a profile. And so basically what you're doing on this profile is you are going to have your campus name, the current fiscal year, calendar ID will be traditional. We'll change these dates each time we pull this report as we will be pulling it on a daily basis. The attendance absence group is all attendance codes. Tardy attendance is selected at none. Special program, none. Program values, none. Expected grad year, all. Include schedule enrollment, you can put no. Include parent guardian, name and phone, put yes. Room numbers, no. Sort order is by date and student. Page break, none. Now it's very important that you get these set with these same values. That way the report that you're pulling and dropping in is in the right format for the spreadsheet to work. Once you have these values set, if you click save after you give your profile a name, it will actually place that profile underneath your report. So now each day when you come into attendance, you simply select attendance, daily attendance, and you should have a drop down for a report, and all you'll have to do is change the dates. So what I'm going to go in is I'm going to change, and I'm going to get my attendance for yesterday. Once you have the date selected, we're going to hit request report, and we're going to do this in Excel format. Click OK, and now it's going to start generating that report in your report queue. In the report queue, you can see here at the top, it's in progress. Once the report is done, it shows complete, and then it's going to come out in Excel. So this is the report. You can see it runs columns A through Q for the information. We have all the absences listed for 9/11, and you can see the absence reasons here, grade level, student ID, along with the parent, guardian, and contact information. So this is a good way in that call log to generate your first number to begin making contact. So what you're going to do is, we don't need to highlight all of this information each day. Once we've started this spreadsheet, all you need to do is you need to find the date, which is always in cell A5, highlight over to column Q. Now we're going to hold the Control and Shift key on your keyboard, hit the down arrow, and it highlights all of the information that you need. We're going to copy that information either by doing right click and copy, or you do with hotkeys Control button plus C. So if you hold Control and hit C, it copies. Now we're going to go back to that daily attendance teams report, and you can see right here again, this was the absences for 9/8. There's again your period totals for 9/8, or the last day that was copied, and then you have this line that says period totals for date range 8/17 through 9/8. What we're going to do is, each time you copy in, we're going to find that line, that second period totals on the last entry, and we're going to paste right over it. So if you want to, you can hit a Control V and paste, or you can right click, do a paste, and I like to paste values. That way it keeps all of my formatting in line, and you can see once that was pasted in on the right hand side, the spreadsheet began working through the formulas and populating the rest of the information that we need. So now that we have our daily attendance in for 9/11, the last thing we need is going to be our student enrollment. So there are two tabs in this workbook. There's the daily attendance from Teams, and there's the student enrollment also from Teams. You can see on this one, there's two columns that are highlighted, column A and B. That's where we'll be pasting in our information. And again, this comes from a student enrollment report that's already generated in Teams. If we look at the bottom here, basically what this report is showing you as a principal, if you look at it in its full format in Excel, it's showing you how many students by grade level are enrolled in your campus. And then it also shows you new students or withdrawals on that same report, as well as non-membership students or flex attendance students. So you get a good report to see what new students you're getting, what students have unenrolled from your campus, as well as those non-membership. If I scroll down to the bottom, you can see the last entry here was again on 9/8. So I need to put my enrollment for 9/11 as well as 9/12. So again, I'm going to go back into Teams, back underneath my report profiles, and now I'm going to stay under the student menu, and I'm going to go to enrollment. Now this might be a little bit different report than some have pulled. I'm going to go into student enrollment, and again I'm going to generate a new profile. You can see this is a very simple report, and all you need to do is select your campus. You need to select your current fiscal year. Calendar ID is traditional. We'll have the dates that we change. Schedule enrollment, no. So again, I'm going to go on here for West Avenue. I'm going to request this report. I'm going to again use Excel. Now it's in the report queue, student enrollment report. And you can see here again, here is your membership pieces. I forgot to change the date, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back and put the 11th. Back to report queue. Now we have the report we need. So again, you can see membership by grade level. Total membership here, 353.5. We didn't have any non-membership, no new students or no withdrawals on this day. Again, those should show up here if you had students that withdrew or entered your campus as new students on those days. So what we're going to do on this report, all we need is from cell A4, and all we need is through column B at this total number. So I'm just going to select cell A4 down through, in this case, B15, where I got my total value. I'm going to copy again with Control C. I'm going to go back into my daily attendance under my student enrollment tab, and I'm just going to take that information, right click, paste values to the bottom. And what that's doing is it's going through and it's pulling out this total enrollment. And now this is the information that's going to populate on the remaining two spreadsheets to provide you with your daily call log, your daily percent attendance, as well as just the cumulative results of your absence over the course of the year. So now you have two spreadsheets. One is the absence call log, and then one is your just attendance dashboard. We'll go into the attendance dashboard first. Basically, this is just your snapshot overview of attendance on a daily basis. So what this does, you can see it right here, this information is blank. What it's looking for is the absence codes for today, 9/12. Because we have not yet taken our daily attendance and uploaded that information, it's not in there yet. If this date were to change, if I were to go to 9/8, I'm just going to change over this formula. You can see that it's going to populate each day. So once the information is dropped into the team spreadsheet, you will get a list of your students that are currently absent on that day. So this always remains at today's date. So again, 10 o'clock, 10:15, this should be updated. What this is doing then is populating an overall cumulative absences for your year. So you can see the first table is by grading period, and it shows by grade level the number of absences that have occurred over the course of this first 6-week grading period. So it's looking at our dates. You can see here again, you can look for trends by grade level. First grade, third grade are having some high level of absences. It breaks those down by the excused, unexcused, medical, and pre-existing. And then we'll continue to do that over each of the grading periods, so you can look for trends in your data as far as by grading period as well. Down below that is the table that actually keeps a running total by student. So if you're looking again to pinpoint those students that are having high numbers of absences early in the year, this actually orders based on total absences. So it doesn't necessarily consider if they're all unexcused. So you can see here, for example, our first student with the total of 4 absences, there's 2 that are unexcused, 2 that fall under the excused, medical, or pre-existing condition. The second student, again, you can see that those fall under excused absences. So you probably want to highlight and look at these students that are under the unexcused column for the number of absences. But this is always going to be by total absences, and gives you a quick look at those students that are accumulating absences and may need to have some additional contact. But that again, that's cumulative based on the data you drop in. So as you drop in your new data, this will update, and this sheet will continue to reorder based on total number of absences, and you'll see your running totals by grade level. The graph also just shows you a running total of the total absences unexcused each day, so you can kind of get a trend line as the year goes on, but this is set up to run for the whole year. The last spreadsheet is the absence call log, and this is the one that Bells Hill had set up as they're making contact with their students. So what this spreadsheet does is a couple things. One, it does based on the absence report that you entered, and then based on your student enrollment report, it actually goes in, looks at that information, and calculates a percent daily attendance. Now, this is just a quick snapshot number. This is not your official daily attendance percentage. That comes from Ms. Tiffany Summerfeld in the PEIMS department. But this does give you a very quick updated look right at the time that you take your attendance, or right at the time you upload your data, to see where you are as far as your daily attendance. And from this information, the way Bells Hill is using this is then to make daily calls. So across the bottom, you can see these worksheets by date. And these are worksheets that you'll generate, but it's very easy to do. I'll show you that in just a second. And you can see your absences based on date. And what they're doing on this sheet is then they're going in and their PCLs are making contact. So they have the first contact number, and then they go through additional calls. They'll place those numbers here as well. And then they're identifying the absence reasons. If it comes back as a medical, it will highlight that information, and it allows the attendance clerk to go back in later in the day, then to also make those changes to the absence coding, so we can make sure that those codes are up to date and students are receiving credit and campuses are receiving credit for attendance when the absence reasons are under the medical or other categories or excused pieces. So these cells are all built based on the date. So here you can see we've run out of columns. I'm at 9-8. So what I need to do is build me a new worksheet, and this is very easy. All you have to do is right click the worksheet. You can hit duplicate. Once you've duplicated the sheet, you can see it's still showing 9-8. I would just do a rename for the date, and then all you have to do in the top left hand corner in the date, double click. It's going to bring down your calendar, select the date, and it populates the information based on that date for the students that were absent. So again, if you have this up for today, if we duplicate 9/12/2017, update the date by double clicking. As soon as the information is dropped in, this generates a call log that you can have, that you can share this entire worksheet with anyone on campus who's making those parent contacts, and they have one location to work from. They can update this information so you're not making double calls to parents, so everybody is on the same page as far as who's been contacted. That also helps you to keep track of the total number of phone calls that you've made to students, and just gives you a real quick look again at your overall attendance based on the year, and your overall attendance percentages by day. So again, all of this is customizable. All of this is based on the information you drop in from Teams, from your daily attendance report, and then your student enrollment report. But if there's anything we can do to help you automate these processes to help you get back to contacting your students and helping to increase your student attendance, please let me know. Be happy to work with you guys. If you have any questions, contact myself, Patrick Upmore, in the Office of Professional Development.